Hello and welcome to Breakthrough Conversations with Coach Pete, and I'm Gloria Lybecker. And today let's explore the concept of am I enough or I'm not enough. I mean, it could be either way. I am enough or I'm not enough. And I know I've experienced both, and they both feel so different in my body. What's your experience with them, Coach Pete?
Yeah, I think it's a powerful, very simple concept that I work with my clients a lot. I find it come up. I find it comes up a lot, and I think it's just a general human situation. There's a really wonderful coach on a grand scale. She even has the British accent. I don't know where in the UK she's from. She's got this great British accent. I think I should work on that because it makes people really stop and listen. But her name is Marissa. Whoops, I just lost her last name. Marissa Peer, or Peers, Peers, or Peer. And she has a wonderful YouTube about this thing that she discovered in her coaching. Now, her coaching practice is with extremely wealthy people, quote unquote, successful people. That's part of her thing. And what she found, and even dealing with what you think of, what outsiders might think of as extremely successful, multiple houses, multiple cars, blah, 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 blah. The life that many people aspire to. And she found that even those people, when she started coaching them, would come up with insecurities or feelings of, I'm just not enough. It's never enough. The achieving is never enough. And so she came up with not that she's unique in this, it's not copyrighted or anything, just the simple phrase, I am enough. And she encourages people to put it on their bathroom mirrors or by their bedstand or on their computer. I am enough. And then she goes further and says, it's amazing how enough I am. It's just kind of a mantra to remind ourselves that, yes, deep down in our hearts, who we are, I am enough. And it's not always about the next and the next and the next. It's I am enough.
Hmm. I find that fascinating. The practice that I find is most beneficial for myself and with the people I work with is to really recognize those fundamental beliefs that because we are human and we're born human, we have a human experience, we all share them. We all have these doubts and insecurities, and because they're from our experience, and our body never forgets an experience we have, but most of the time they're unconscious. So when we start to recognize the patterns that of I'm believing I'm not enough and I'm proving I'm not enough because I'm taking these actions, and here it is again. When we can slow down and have compassion for that experience that we've had, and we can recognize the pattern, we're not going to change the pattern. It's like so deeply embedded or imprinted. It's there. But when we try to use, many people want to use affirmations, things like that, that can actually make that pattern stronger because it's like, I don't believe that. It's the belief that's actually going to trip you up. So when you can acknowledge the belief and go, yeah, I see that, you can take your power back. And it's by stepping into your heart, into your spirit of who you really are, that is a much higher frequency that actually then transmutes the power out of that belief. And so the belief's always going to be there, no matter how many times I might want to put positive things out there. And it's not about making it positive or negative. It's about, for me, recognizing a truth. What happens for you hearing that from me?
Yeah, believe me, I was listening. I was just looking up something because I forgot the origin of something, but I'll date myself a little bit. Saturday Night Live, in its origin, had a character called Stuart Smalley. Do you remember him?
No.
And it was the comedian
Mm.
became a senator. Now I just can't remember his name, but he was a senator from Wisconsin, I believe. Very funny guy who became a very serious senator. He had this character, Stuart Smalley. When I imitated a bit, bear with me, but I think it might remind you. He's looking in a mirror and he's saying, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And by golly, people like me. And he had this whole bit about that that was weekly. And the reason it resonated with people is the same thing as we started talking about. I am enough, and what Marissa Peer says, and what you were talking about, how it's all kind of in our experiences inside ourselves. That's why it was so funny. And you should look it up. I'll send you a link because it is hysterical. And but it taps into what's, as you said, human. We all experience this.
Mm.
Every single one of us, no matter what we do in life, we have this deep down, many of us, I should say, have this deep down feeling, am I enough? Am I falling short somehow? Do I have to do more to prove myself? Do I have to do more for people to like me, by golly? And I just think it's an interesting area to work with people. I know it's helped me a great deal. Some people are people pleasers. Some people have what's sometimes called the disease to please, where it's just always pleasing, pleasing, pleasing. And that can be a wonderful trait for somebody. It's great to make people feel good and do well by them, but are we giving up ourselves?
Yeah.
So here we go, come back to balance, and you call it harmony. I love the way you rephrase it when I say balance. But let's talk about your term, finding the right harmony about these issues. By God, by golly.
Yeah, so I agree with you, and I encourage all of our listeners to take time to recognize their truth, recognize the patterns, and recognize that they are enough. And it's where are you putting your power? Are they in these fundamental beliefs? Bring it back to your heart. What is it you really love? Take action there. Yeah,
Great
thanks.
advice.
Yeah, well, a fun exploration. I look forward to our next one.